What's this? A letter for me.
Welcome to another episode of Remember the Great Sports Through the Mail Thursdays. With me recently reaching the 100th Through the Mail Thursday episode achievement, I started thinking, I need to expand this even more. That's what this channel's about. Going into 2020 this year, I want to give you, my viewers, more. So I started thinking, I have never shared with you in the 100 episodes that I've done a Through the Mail Thursday with racing. So this is a historic episode in the fact that I am sharing with you my first racing success on my Through the Mail Thursdays channel. So with that being said, I am not an expert in racing. I know there are some people that I am friends with on, this forum of YouTube that are huge NASCAR fans and huge, Formula One racing fans. And I think a lot of us connecting is from me, doing my in memoriam videos on race drivers. And before I started this channel, I had written a handful of people through the mail. I received successes in the past from, some great legendary drivers, actually. I just never, in the last 2 years since I started this channel, have gotten around to writing them again. Well, that's changed. I finally sat down, I applied myself, and I said, you know what? I'm just going to mail out all of these requests and see what comes back. And I sent out probably 20 to 30 requests to various drivers in Formula One and NASCAR. So join me on this historic episode. I hope to share with you and open this channel up to another audience to not just show that baseball, basketball, football, and even hockey are sports that I know about, but I am somebody that is an avid fan of all sports. I'm willing to open myself up to learn more from viewers. If I say something incorrectly, if I mislead, it is not my intention. I'm just learning about a great sport of NASCAR, Formula One, racing in general. So I don't have the rich history and knowledge that I do, say, like in baseball. So with that being said, join me on this new journey through 2020 and beyond, and me sharing some Through the Mail Thursday videos with you, the viewer, of some great legendary race car drivers. The first success is postmarked from Florida, and it is 1, 2, 3, and 4 from Geoff Bodine. Now the bottom 2 cards are McDonald's racing cards, and I'm going to shoot another video. Definitely, if you're a NASCAR fan, this will be for you. I'm actually trying to collect these 2 sets completely signed. Very difficult to do. There's a couple deceased people in the sets, so one of them is almost impossible to get. I don't even know if the set was out before he passed away, so that'll be one that I'll probably never get signed. But I do have the biggie in this set already signed in Dale Earnhardt Sr. And I'll talk about that in maybe a sharing collections, video in an upcoming segment. So, Geoff Bodine. Well, Geoff Bodine is the oldest of the 3 Bodine brothers. He got his start in racing at a very young age, as most of them do. That's the common theme with a lot of race car drivers, that they start at a very, very young age. Well, his first appearance was in 1979's Daytona 500. His career lasted from 1979 all the way until 2011. So this gentleman, Geoff Bodine, raced almost my entire life. That's up until 2011, I should say. So that's quite an achievement. 575 races over 27 years in the Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series, and 94 races over 13 years in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. So that's that's like almost 700 races over his professional career. And that's not counting, obviously, his amateur races as well. He has 18 wins. His first win came in the 1984 Sovereign Bank 500 for the Cup Series, and his first one for the Xfinity Series was in 1982 in Darlington. Some of his career achievements and awards include being the winner of the 1986 Daytona 500, being the 1994 of the Winston. He also was the 1982 Winston Cup Series Rookie of the Year. In 1998, he was named one of NASCAR's 50th greatest drivers. He was named one of NASCAR's modified all-time top 10 drivers listed in the Guinness World Records book for most wins in a season, with 55 wins in modifieds. So, overall, Geoff Bodine had a huge career in racing. So, let's move on to the next one. Alright, so this next one is postmarked from Texas, and this is another out of the McDonald's set that I'm trying to collect, and this is Bobby Hillin, or also known as Bobby Hillin Jr., on 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I'm very happy to add these to my collection as well. Again, 2 more for my McDonald's set. I also should mention, if there's anybody out there that is also collecting these signed, and if you need to trade for a Bobby Hillin, it's available for another one out of those 2 sets. And again, I will follow up in the future with a collection video of these autographs, like similar to the one like my Team USA video that I did with baseball. So Bobby Hillin, he actually, the significance, one of the biggest things for him was he was actually a record holder at one time as being the youngest driver ever to win a Winston Cup Series event. That's pretty impressive. In 1986, Talladega 500, he won at just 17 years old. He spent over a 17-year career in the NASCAR Cup Series, 334 races over 17 years. He also raced in the NASCAR Xfinity Series, which spanned over 14 years with 115 races. His last race was in 2000, and that was at the Bristol 500. So his career started at 17, and he, did it for a long time. After his racing career ended, he got into an engineering and construction business along the lines of oil drilling down in the Gulf of Mexico, and that is what he currently does to this day. So I was able to find an address, care of that company, and that's where I sent these. So I'm very happy to add these to my collection, and my NASCAR collection continues to grow. Alright, so this next one I'm going to share with you is one of the greatest ever to be in NASCAR. And this is postmarked from North Carolina, which ones aren't postmarked from North Carolina nowadays, it seems. And this is from NASCAR Legend. And I'm just going to show you on the back of his card how long his career spanned. From 1961 to 1988. And this is none other than Bobby Allison on 1, and I really like these commemorative silver cards. 2, 3, and 4. Now, in addition to that, and I will share this with you. You know, again, I normally don't share addresses, but this is for a good cause. In addition to these 3 or 4, he also included 2 signed promo cards, we'll call them. And on the back is an address to purchase his book. So we'll just lay those up to the corner here, and we'll talk about Bobby Allison. And as you can see, very cool art card. Very cool that he included that in the package as well. So this is actually a 6 of 4 success. He signed the, excuse me, he signed the 4 cards, then included 2 of these signed as well. Bobby Allison, just like Bodine, was named one of NASCAR's 50 greatest drivers. He is one of those individuals, again, that started out very, very young in his career and had a career that spanned decades. And his first race was actually, as the card indicated on the back there, was in 1961. And his first major win in the NASCAR Cup Series was in 1966. He's the winner of many, many races, would be the best way to put it. I'm just going to run through some of these with you really quick. I mean, I could talk all day about, you know, this guy's career. So, 1983 Winston Cup Series champion, 1980 IROC champion, 1970, 82, and 88 Daytona 500. So he won the Daytona 500 3 times. 1971, 72, and 75 Southern 500. Oh, and 83, so 4 times there. 81, 84 World 600 winner. 79, 81, 86 Winston 500 winner. He won the awards, 1983 Most Popular Driver 7 times. As I mentioned before, he's in the 50 Greatest Drivers. He was inducted into the NASCAR Hall of Fame in 2011, inducted in the International Motorsports Hall of Fame in 1993, and inducted in 1992 to the Motorsports Hall of Fame of America in 1992. So this guy's career lasted so many years. I mean, crazy how many races this guy actually performed in. But we'll talk about a little bit about some of the things that are tragic, I guess you would call it. The reason he retired in 1988, during the midpoint of the season, he actually crashed at the Miller High Life 500. It was a head-on collision with an outside barrier, but he was T-boned by another driver. Because of the injuries he sustained in 1988 during this race, he never could race again. And he had to bring himself back up to health, which went through many years of rehab and getting back, to where he needed to be. And in this time period, his children, Clifford Allison, along with Davey Allison, began driving and racing as well. In 1992, his son, Clifford Allison, was killed during practice at an event at the NASCAR Busch Series race. If that wasn't enough, later in 1993, his son Davey was killed at Talladega. So within a short time span, Mr. Allison almost lost his life, ending his career in racing, and then lost 2 of his sons. So with that being said, I don't know much about his book. I don't own it. I would just want to say that, I am very, very happy that Mr. Allison, is so cordial to his fans to this day. I have personally found that many NASCAR drivers and Formula One racers as well. I've written a few Formula One people, and you'll see a few of them trickling in, here in the future as well. But I've learned that a lot of people that are affiliated with racing are very sincere and are very cordial with their fans. So if you have access to racing cards, I was very fortunate enough to get some early 90s, mid-90s racing cards for pennies on the dollar. I mean, we're talking $2, $3, 3,000 count boxes for like $6. And I was able to go through these and kind of sort through a lot of them and get a lot of people to sign, throughout the years. And like I said, I'm trying to pick this back up in 2020, to share with the YouTube audience my love for racing as well. And I just don't want to say that I'm a one sport type of person, and that's why on my logo you see the multi-sports. Unfortunately, I don't have anything related to racing on there. So maybe the next time I ask my wife to draw something, we'll try to incorporate a checkered flag or something in the background. But I want to thank everybody that signed for me, Mr. Hillin, Mr. Allison, and Mr. Bodine. I'm very happy to add all of their autographs to my collection. Thank you very much, the viewer, for tuning in. I hope you enjoy racing autographs as much as I do. I hope this opens up a little more of a fan base, with me sharing my love for racing, as I know I've watched some other YouTube videos that your channel strictly is racing collectibles, so hopefully this gives you some ideas of guys to write. And I look forward to your comments below.